summarize your biggest lesson you've learned through these stories of one thing to the next, to the next, to the next, with an end goal in mind? Like, I guess, yeah, what would be your final lesson to yourself that you tell yourself that pushes you to keep going?
I would say discipline and focus. And discipline comes first because you have to be disciplined to have the focus. Because discipline can be as simple as like for my junk removal business, like we basically have some small checklists, and like if we have jobs that day, which we're to the point now we're starting to pretty much have jobs every day, which is a super huge blessing. When you first start out, for everybody that I'm trying to teach and learn, unless you got money going into it, you're probably not just going to start making $10,000 a month, your first month. It could happen, and have a better chance if you get my PDF, but it probably won't happen. And it has taken us, we've been in business unofficially since November, officially since January, and since then we've just been rocking and rolling. But we have these small checklists that we do regardless, and so you get home after a long day and it's like, my alarm goes off. It's like post on social media. It's like I don't freaking want to, but I have to. It's like I need to keep it going. So discipline and focus, and so three things I would say. Discipline, so you are, when you have these tiny little tasks that they're so minuscule, but you're like, I just don't want to do this today, or like I don't want to go to the gym today, that it's so hard to create a positive habit, and it's so easy to break that. So one day you cut yourself some slack, and then the next day you're like, all right, I'll do it. And the day after you're like, I'm going to cut myself some slack. And then before you know it, 2 weeks later, you might do it once a week, if that. And you're like, so then you're literally losing all that progress that you put in the start, which leads to not being focused, and therefore viewing all these other shiny objects where you're like, oh, this person's day trading. This person's freaking flipping cars, which I've done both of those, And so it's like, those are two things that literally I was like, let me do them, and currently, like, even with day trading, it's something that I have my eye on. I'm not super focused, but I still dabble in it, but just like to play around with, because it's like, looking at shit like that really interests me. I like just looking at charts, but
sure,
regardless. So the discipline, the focus, and then the ability, I don't know what you would call this, but the ability to slowly incorporate who you are without just one day flipping the script fully, So I don't know what you would consider that as, but just, so I guess patience, honestly. Discipline, focus, and patience. Because yes, you might want to be known. For me, I want to be known as a rapper, and in the future, kind of like a Kanye, I want to be known for music, and then eventually be known as like a huge fashion designer that's like legendary.
Sure.
But look at Kanye, like he was known for music for like the first 10, 15 years of his career, and now, just now in his 40s and plus, he's doing Yeezy, and he's becoming this giant fashion mogul that is now worth billions of dollars. He wasn't worth billions of dollars when he was making the music, but he was focused on the craft and the passion of being an artist. So I would say the patience is the third thing. Just, if you want to do something and you want people to know about it, and let's say that's not what's popping off now, figure out a method or something different that you enjoy that you can help grow your brand, and then slowly start incorporating these other things to get your audience comfortable with who you are, and to make a portion of your audience want each one of these pieces. So maybe all 100% know you for junk removal, or like The Rock. They all know The Rock is a movie star, but a small portion of that still followed him and loves him for his wrestling days. And there's some people that, literally, there's people out there that probably don't even give a fuck about his acting, but they love his liquor. So they're like, I'm supporting him just because of his liquor. And that's why they follow him, and they don't even get on Instagram ever. Like, they could care less, but they're following it. But if The Rock would have tried to release a liquor company when he was at WWE, he probably wouldn't have become successful, or it probably wouldn't have done well, and it probably wouldn't even exist today. Whereas now it's either sold or has been valued at over $1 billion. And it's like, in what, a year's time, 2 years time of him like having it, like, and so that's the power of branding and social media. And I think because of the patience and the focus, people want, the end goal so bad. They just want to be able to have the fans, the following, and support with whatever they do. but it just takes time to get to that point, and that time span can be different for anybody. Like I thought I would be worth $1 million at 25, and I'm not yet. So it's like putting those like deadlines on you. A lot of gurus or whatever, they'll say you should do that type of stuff, but I'm with Gary Vee on, like, if you put that on you, the pressure, and then you get to that level or that stage in your life and you're not there, it literally makes you think like, I'm a loser, what am I doing with my life? Versus, look how far and where I came from to get to here and what I've had to go through and all the battles I've had to face and how strong I am now, versus look how far I still got to go, I'm nowhere. It's like you discredit everything you've done just because you want to be somewhere else. And I think I know that was a long answer, but those are my three takeaways.
Really good.
If
that's
I could,
awesome, man.